share the screen. There we go. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, then I'll go ahead and start right away. We're all here, Global Realtors to Master the Instagram Algorithms with Pete Sager, guru of algorithms. A powerhouse webinar for global realtors ready to dominate Instagram and TikTok with expert insights from Pete Sager. I am excited. So here he is, Pete Sager. So scan that QR code and that'll take you right to all of his links so you can take a look who Pete is. Pete Sager is a social media growth strategist specializing in helping real estate professionals build massive audiences on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and X. With years of hands-on experience cracking platform algorithms, Pete has helped hundreds of realtors transform their online presence into a lead generation machine. Isn't that what we all want? Algorithm expert, deep expertise in social media ranking systems, real estate focus, niche strategies built for realtors and property marketers, proven results, measurable follower growth, and lead generation outcomes. Welcome, Pete.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah, and so we also, this is not just specifically for realtors. It's for connectors, I work with salons, schools, spas, individual business that people are trying to get out or figure out how to get into algorithms. I'm in the Dallas area, which they call DFW. And a lot of times it's super competitive, and you will see, especially in real estate out here, you will see 100 agents and 90 to 95 of them all are stuck in the same algorithm, the same niche. They don't expand, and then they wonder why they're not getting any type of feedback from social media. So it's been really a treat for me to be here in the Dallas area during this growth for the last 5 years and see how things have changed and how social media can help and push people's pages or their businesses out and get them the business that comes in. With that being said, this is just a snapshot of one of them. This is 6.6 million on one of the platforms for the last year. I'm pushing about 40 million total right now. Over the summer, I was in New York Times, USA Today, about 40 papers internationally. But what I've done is I've learned how to train the algorithm to get it to the people that you need to and get the views out. So with that being said, so Instagram, it just doesn't show your posts to your followers. Like it scores every piece of content based on signals that determine each reach. Understanding these signals is the difference between 200 views and 2,000. I know you can probably put a thumbs up that how many people get stuck in the 200 to 400 range whenever they post. And sometimes it stays there for months and they call it either Instagram jail, TikTok jail, YouTube jail, whatever the case is. So there are ways to get through that. However, at the end of the day, it's like anything else where it's going to take a little bit of time and discipline for you to figure out how to do it with the right lead and then continually doing what it's asking for. Because on all platforms, they will reward you for putting in the time because they track each individual time that you're on there and what your actions are on those platforms. So you can train it to help it get to you, help it get you to where you want to be. Next. Okay, so engagement rate, so watch time, obviously, and what a lot of people don't understand is once you get a certain number of followers, etc., these platforms will start to reward you monetarily. So what you want to try to do is obviously you're trying to get that user to stay on that content as long as possible. So what does that mean? It has to be engaging. A lot of my content is me showing more of my personality side instead of just carousels or a straight to a business post in terms of if we're showing a house, everybody does this. They start it with 525,000, 3-bedroom, 4-bath in Texas. This is what you can buy. And they're at the very beginning and they go, let's walk in. If anybody goes to almost any big city, you're going to see those are the main posts. Those do not perform very well unless that person has built up a base of 25 to 30 or 50,000 followers on that platform. So the engagement rate is huge. And how do you get them to engage? By having the content that is going to keep them on the platform longer. So engagement rate, saves, shares, comments, and likes. We all know that when you see something, whether it be a meme or something that you do like, you go ahead and forward it to one of your friends and you say, hey, this is a funny meme, or this is an interesting business opportunity, or this is an idea of someone that they have. I will say this, some of the best will copy certain formats of people who have done well. This is a good example. I was in Cabo San Lucas last week, working with an individual who's getting ready to go into the NFL draft. We were sitting on the beach and we were just scrolling, talking about what he had. And I told him, how much do you want to bet I can get a post to go over 100 or 150K? And he was like, there's no way. So all I did was I got onto some platforms, I searched Cabo, and I found the most viewed post. I took that same post, but because I was in that same location, I filmed my original post. I didn't copy it and paste it. I filmed my original post and then I posted it. It's at 150K right now. But I changed a couple of things on there. But the point is this, it's already popular on the algorithm. So when that same visual comes through, or the same hook or whatever comes through, it's going to push it. And sure enough, that one that I looked at had 1 million. This one got 150K, but it was almost immediate. So you have to be really conscious of when you're going through these platforms and seeking what it is and what's going to help you and what won't help you. So always be open-minded to posts or to things that you're going to pull out and be like, hey, this may not be exactly my niche, but I can change it a little bit to fit into the algorithm to get me some more views. Replays, content, obviously content watched more than once. If you go to your analytics, you're going to be able to see people that watch it over and over. And then this is a big one, is relationships. You're going to have a base of people who are always going to be on your platform, and they're going to engage with you, and that's critical. And we'll talk a little bit about that more on the next one.
So Pete, really quickly, I really like how you put that engagement rate and that FNL that you take. So many realtors struggle with content, and right there you gave the content, which I just wanted to point out. That was really like a light bulb moment there. Thank you.
Yeah, I think all of us, and you guys can put thumbs up in the chat, but I think all of us have seen when that one real estate video went viral where I'm your realtor and they're on the corner and they're holding a sign and someone drives by and they start to chase them. Because that's how a lot of people feel, how some realtors are, where they're just so aggressive but that one blew up originally. And then a lot of people use that and put a variation on it, and that helped them bring in more views because it's already in the algorithm. So it's not necessarily you're going to copy someone's material frame by frame or whatever, but there are ideas out there. And if you put your own twist and you add your own personality and everything to it, it will help you take off and gain more views. So Instagram content playbook for realtors, and this relatively does go outside of that for any business. Reels get 3 to 5 times more reach than just static posts. Now, there are times when what they have is carousels, which is where you flip and there's a picture, a picture, a picture. Those trends do come and go, but you have to watch the algorithm and you have to watch the popular posts to see if that is relevant at that time. Showcase listing, neighborhood tours, behind the scenes moments, and short videos. A lot of people overlook the behind the scene moments or the difficulties during these business practices. A lot of times people want to see that because it's not always sunshine and roses. Not everybody, every single listing you have or every post that you have is going to explode or be great. It is, you go through the ups and downs, and that's part of life. And that's what people want to see, is the reality of it. Create save-worthy content. Post to get safe signal, high value to the algorithm. So what you want to do is you want to obviously share those. You can repurpose those clips too. So if a post does really well and you have a lot of saves on it, you can repurpose that in terms of this. You can go back and cut that content with the same visual, but maybe shorten it, maybe add something in the middle, maybe add a different hook. I do that a lot because sometimes I'm traveling or sometimes I don't have time. I think recently I had a post, it was at 1.5 million. A trend came out and it fit the trend. And I redid it and it hit 400K within like 5 days. So, and it wasn't me going and refilming or anything. I had the original one. I just repurposed it and cut it and added a couple things to it. Stories, I think a lot of people sleep on the stories where they think that they have to put out a business product or a business minded story. It's not necessarily that. You see a lot of, don't just put all food where it's right in front of you and all you see is food and this is where I am and this, etc. I mean, that gets a little bit overwhelming. And I know a lot of people do that, but just do, you know, driving to an open house or opening up my spa or kids in the Montessori or whatever your business is. Just do the behind the scenes things that you're doing and make them quick, add some trending music, add a quick hook, and then continue to post those, because a lot of stories, they'll push them out to the main, to everyone. FYP on Instagram, FYP on TikTok, shorts on YouTube, etc. They'll push them out to a general audience to see if it's going to hit. And if they do get traction, then they'll start pushing your videos behind that. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is the stories are another way to get into your actual profile to bring people in, because stories normally just go out to a blanket audience. And if they get traction, then they'll start to move those people to your platform or to your profile. Okay, next. Okay, these are the golden rules. And I think a lot of people just either don't have time or they think it's overwhelming. But I feel that if you get into this routine and you start this, after about 3 to 5 days or 10 days, you'll not only see results, but it will become a lot easier. And again, you can repurpose material. It's proven that people stay on a post when they're scrolling for less than 0.5 seconds, unless there's something that jumps, or unless there's some type of aggravation or like or anything like that. So the hook is obviously one of the most important. In the platforms, you will see where insights will help you, and it'll say, this is what your viewers are watching now. Use the studios, use the insights on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc., because they will tell you what is trending and what is going to help you if you're lost on a hook. It does depend on where you are, but normally the best times are 9 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m. in your local time zone, because think about it, that's when people are either getting to work, at lunch, or off work, and normally get on the platforms. Hashtags, yes, a lot of people will go back and forth and you'll see trends where they say hashtags don't matter. That's not true. Hashtags are always going to matter because they are going to allow you to get into that part of the algorithm. Some limit it. TikTok limits it to 5, some don't. But it is very critical that you are continually using those that are going to help you. If you see a trending post that is at 500K or 1 million, screenshot it and see what hashtags are using. Use those same ones. Engagement, obviously reply to comments, go in, at least heart it. Algorithms do punish people for leaving a 1-word response, so be very cautious about leaving. So I get posts that say, hey, great post, or hey, this or that, and instead of putting an emoji or like cool or thanks or whatever, that actually will hurt you, because the algorithm picks it up as you doing the least amount as possible to get back in and try to trick the algorithm. So on all platforms, when you get engagement, even if it's, hey, great post, or, you know, I'm interested or whatever, make sure that you are responding with at least 3 to 5 words. You know, thank you and follow the link, or DM me, or if you do have a link that automatically brings it back in, then you can do that. Add video captions on a lot of these. If it's going to be a longer form content, then you want to add the video captions on the bottom. A lot of people have this turned on their platforms anyway, whether it be because of a different language or something else, so they bring those in. Cross-post TikTok and stories. So yeah, what you want to do is, you don't know what is going to hit on stories, especially if it's going to be a vast array of what you're doing during the day. So you want to be able to, hey, you can use that same story and post it over to a different platform. If it's a story that took off, post it as a YouTube short. And we can get into the differences between YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, X, and Facebook. But for stories, it's okay to post the same stories on those platforms. There is another platform that will help you upload one video, add in parameters of what you want, and it will post to every single one of your platforms at the peak times. So that's another tool that you can use. Next.
Okay, also just really quick, if anybody has any questions, put in the comments so I can ask Pete at the very end, because this was really helpful. I usually do 1-word comments, so that was definitely helpful.
Yeah, you have to engage, because it will read that. a lot of people don't understand that these platforms obviously are owned by different entities. They think that Instagram, and I'm going to push off a little bit. They think that Instagram and Facebook are the same because it's Meta. They are not the same platform in terms of posting and getting traction. It's just not, because of socioeconomic status, the age, the type of platform it is, and what it's been established as. So when people post on Instagram and they say, link it to my Facebook, and it automatically goes over, I've literally had posts on Facebook hit 200 and views and hit 1.5 million on Instagram. But it was because I personally went back in there and changed. It was the same post, but I changed what was on the inside of the post, what the hashtags were, and what the music was, because you have to fit into what each one is. And a lot of people don't understand that. TikTok had for a while, I think, a different type of reputation, but once you get into a certain side of TikTok, it's really helpful. And I will say this, in the Dallas area, which is now the third largest city in the country with over 10 million people, TikTok is becoming definitely a source from social media where they're getting new clients. So it's not about what the reputation is. If you train the algorithm correctly, you're going to be able to get into that side of it, and it's going to help you. So with this TikTok, it's relatively simple. I think everybody knows what For You page is. It's going to just push it out to everybody. If it has some type of traction, it's going to help you tremendously, and it's going to push everyone to your actual profile. So you have to continually post stories. I would say at least 3 to 4 stories a day, 1 to 3 solid posts on that. And each one does vary depending on which platform it is. So new video posted, early signals measured, wider distribution because of FYP. And then TikTok does have a propensity to go viral quicker than some of the other platforms. However, I will say this: do not pay for promotions. At this point, until you have at least 20 or 25K followers, do not pay for promotions on any platform, because what it does is we don't know 100%, but if they are bots or if they are individuals who are getting paid for that in a different country, because this does exist, where they have 100,000 users in a different area and they will pay them 2 pennies for every person that they follow, like, or comment on. So if they're making a certain amount and they promote it for $25 and they're paying one person whatever it is, that this is real, and you guys can look at it, because I had someone contact me the other day who had 15 million followers and said, hey, let's collaborate and let's repost. And I looked at his following and I went through, and on Instagram, you can see people's followings. On TikTok, Facebook, the other ones, they can hide who is following them. If you go into someone's profile and they have a lot of followers, etc., and they contact you or they want to do promotions, be very careful and look through their profile to make sure that they are an actual organically based influencer. Next. Okay, key stats every realtor should know. I think everybody understands this. This is going to be really quick. Is that Instagram has 2 billion, TikTok worldwide, that varies depending on who you talk to. YouTube is now turned into the #1 search engine for educational material and for long term. So once you get a base after stories and posts on YouTube, you should start doing more longer term or longer form format to bring those people in that are interested. 90% follow business on Instagram, and then Reels reach boost is more than just your photos. Now there are times when there's trends when you can do carousels. And this is true relatively within 5%. I always say that 44% of homeowners start their property search on social media. It's just like if you're going on a vacation and you want to know if there's that much seaweed in Cancun and the beaches are going to be closed, you're going to look at social media normally. And if you Google it, more than likely it's going to be linked to a social media post that has the reality of what's going on in that area. Next. Okay, so here is, and some people look at this and they'll go, well, what is that? So this is a $9 key tag that you pay one time for. I put it on the back of my phone, on a keychain, etc. I've had other Blink, I've had the digital card, I've had those. There's always been relatively issues, or they want a monthly fee for them. So you can get 3 of these for $9.99 and use them. You program them one time, you can go in there and add whatever it is, but it's a one-time fee. So that's why I use these as opposed to, do I have the Blink? Yes. Do I have the Apple Tap? Yes. Do I have those? But I've found that this overall, and it works internationally. I have used this in Europe. I've used it in Asia. I've used it in Central America. A lot of times you'll have some issues with Blink, etc. But this is my link for some of my social media platforms, because I've had people be like, what is that? Like that's, but it does, for me, it has worked the best over time, and it's the cheapest way to get it out instead of a link tree or anything else. Now, do I suggest a link tree? Yes. If you want to do a Blink, if you want to do the digital business card, you can do all those. Yes. I've just found over time that these key tags have worked the best and are the most inexpensive.
So Pete, I just realized we don't have a link in there. So after, when everything is done, let's give them the link where they can get that.
Yeah, so can someone scan that and see if it pulls up? Go ahead, if you can unmute her. Falguni, if you want to drop the question in the chat. But you should be able to scan that. Let me see it. I can scan it now. So can.
Yeah, but scan it, and then after at the very end, just we'll share the address where you can actually get one of those cool tags, because I'm definitely getting one.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the link for the tag? Yes, I can do that. Okay, so we're going to go over this really quickly. We're getting close to time. So, okay, this is your 30-day. And again, you guys, this always depends on how you're going to approach this, if you have the discipline and if you want to see the results. But it does take work like anything else. Once you get it down, it's not going to be that big of a hindrance, or you'll actually probably start to enjoy it. So week 1, audit your profile, optimize bio, highlight covers, profile photo for maximum first impression. 2, create and post 5 reels using local market insights, listing tours, clients, testimonials. This does go out to other businesses as well. This is just specifically on this one for real estate. Week 3, launch a stories engagement streak, daily polls, Q&As, behind the scene moments. And I think, does everybody relatively know the platforms well enough to where you can put Q&A, you can put slide for yes or no, you can add a poll. Those engagements normally will help you, because if the content is decent, people look to stay on posts. I know if I'm scrolling or anybody else here, when you find something that interests you or that your business or anything else, you do want to stay on it, and you do want to stay in, like, have it engaging. So by doing that and having a good hook, being entertained, etc., add the polls, add the Q&As and the behind the scene moments, and that will actually help keep people on that post for a longer amount of time. The last thing is analyze your insights, double down on top performing content formats, and schedule consistency. So one thing, I saw someone yesterday, and one thing that I wanted to make clear was that you have to be careful what you pin on your profiles, because the algorithm will read what is pinned first. So I have met several people, and they have in their profiles, they have posts that have the highest amount of views, and they're pinned. But that profile or that post doesn't necessarily agree with what their business is, or what the actual content of their profile is. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, yes, everybody wants to pin something up top that has like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 500,000, million, because it shows that you have traction, etc. But you have to be careful what you pin, because it will keep you in that side of the algorithm according to what you have there. So let's say, for example, it's a realtor, and she does a get ready with me, and it's a great outfit, etc., and it gets 40,000 views. But she just put OOTD. She didn't put realtor getting ready. She didn't put anything in the algorithm that was going to help her push. You can do those types of videos. You can do those types of stories, those short form, but make sure that what you have as a hook or anything else has your main information of what you want for the algorithm, in terms of realtor getting ready instead of just ready for work, or realtor at lunch, or spa owner at here, or whatever. And then a lot of times, well, we do this every time, is when you get into a post, you're going to add your hook. What you're also going to do is you're going to add text again, and you're going to add all of your SEO or your highest search terms and type those out. So it's going to put realtor, Dallas, open house. And then you're going to pull that box and you're going to shrink it down as much as possible, and you're going to pull it down off of the page so that no one can see it, but the algorithm reads it. So those keywords are read by the algorithm, but no one can see it. There's a hook that has those keywords in it. And then they're spoken from the actual person who's posting on those keywords. Hi, I'm a realtor in Dallas, or I'm a realtor in Dubai, or this. And then you're going to have your hashtags. And then you're going to have your actual, the words spoken at the bottom when people do that as well. So now you're going to hit the algorithm 6 different times as opposed to just one. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that you have to do all of these small things in the background of a post to help it push out in the front of the post so that people see it, engage, and stay on it, and the algorithm rewards you. Because one thing is for sure about any of these platforms, it's just like when you get that remote job and they put the software on your screen where they see if the mouse is moving because you're working or not working all day. So the algorithm will read how much time and what your functions are on your profile. The more that you follow what is suggested and what works and the time, the more they're going to push your content out, as opposed to a person who comes in, does one post a day, is on there, edits it, posts it, and then leaves. So you have to spend some time on there too. What I would suggest is get into a group of people you know, or other realtors, etc. And when they post, comment on it. Or when someone else does, comment on it. Or you guys have a group that you know, or that someone that you really like, start commenting on their stuff after you post. So next.
I love that, Pete. Thank you.
Okay, and so this is for individuals who would like to have some individual consultation. I do have a lot of different entities that I work with, because I'm a little bit different in terms of how I've approached this. The story with me is I did pay $12.50 about 2 years ago to someone to help me, and it was probably the biggest scam that I felt, I was so upset about it. I was like, and it was affiliate marketing. So once I got going, I was pushing their product, and I was making a 2% on a high ticket product. So I decided, I got so upset, and this is the same with me in languages, because I do speak 7 languages. I do really like a challenge. So I was so upset at the fact that that happened, and what the result was, that I was like, okay, I'm just going to figure this out myself and take the time and reach out to people, stay up late at night, do everything that I'm not supposed to do. But once I did that and branched out, I think it was 2 to 3 months later, I got my very first hit that got to 1 million. And fortunately, it got reposted by one of the largest Spanish bands in the US. And then from there, it went to Instagram. And then a couple months later, another million, and then another. And over the summer, I had one that I stopped counting at 10 million because it went global. And so like Twitter, it actually had 2 million. Instagram, it had like 7 million. It went, but I used that. And then I got representation from a company. And then I figured out how to utilize this and to go forward. So what my thing is, I'm not here to try to put someone in a $1,000 program and push it out over a month, etc. I feel what helps the most is to get someone, sit them down and give them constructive criticism, and to work with them and give them the opportunity to do this. And if it works, then if they would like to come on as a client monthly, longer term, fine. But one thing is for sure, you have to be very careful about paying for promoting posts, who you're going to work with, and understand no one is going to, it's not negative towards you. They're just giving you the information of what works. I've had a client come in and was like upset and was like, how can you talk to me like that, etc. And I said, no, I'm giving you the facts on what it is. It's constructive criticism. And if you follow it and you get on your program and you get disciplined and you repurpose material, you do all these things that we were talking about briefly, you are going to see a jump. You are going to see an increase in followers, etc., which is organic, which that's what we want, is organic followers. So that is that's my position on how I help people. I normally have anywhere from 5 different entities, but I am in the real estate realm, and that is where I do help a lot of people, and it is a lot of fun. I will say that.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Pete. And go back to it. Your criticism, it is always polite.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get, you know, they take it personally of, oh my God, look at this post, or, oh, like I have a spa in South Texas. And I'm like, how can you guys do this? Like, you guys look at, and here's the other thing too, is, you know, don't be afraid to send it to someone like that, you know, or whatever, or actually put it down and walk away and come back and think of it as like one of your friends or your brother or your sister or whoever it is, and step back from the post and be like, is this really interesting? Like, is this really good material? Instead of just posting, a lot of people get in that trap where they're like, I gotta post. Take a little bit of time and at least make sure that the post is a little bit more engaging, right? And it's always good to throw random stuff in there, because I've had posts that I never, ever, ever thought would hit 1 million, 500K, 1 million, etc., that were garbage to me in terms of, but when I went back and looked at it, I was like, damn, it does have a good hook. It's realistic. I did follow the hashtags. I did follow the shrinking down the words, and I did add that. So I was like, wow, it really does. If you follow it, the material is going to go sooner or later. So with that being said, thank you guys for your time.
Yes, thank you. Just really quick, Pete, I'm going to stop the recording here, but everybody grab the information, get in contact with Pete, and I'll stop the recording. I see Aris, you still have a question, but
Yeah,
thank you very much. Scan, contact Pete. He is amazing. And miracles can happen in 1 hour, just giving you critical feedback, what to do. It can change your life. So definitely get in contact with Pete.
Okay, so what's the rules of following someone? That's a great question.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll be right there to do Q&A.
So